Let's get right into it. The entire balance of power in the Middle East has just been completely redrawn. Right in the middle of a shadow war, Iran has named its new supreme leader. This is a massive turning point, not just for the nation, but for everyone watching around the globe.
And get this, in a move that has absolutely stunned observers, the new leader is Mojtaba Khamenei, the son of the former supreme leader. This creates a huge paradox, right? We're talking about a hereditary succession in an Islamic republic, a republic that was born from a revolution that specifically overthrew a monarchy. It's a wild signal of continuity and a pretty direct challenge to its enemies.
So, you have to be asking, how did we even get here? Well, this whole succession didn't just happen in a vacuum. Nope. It's the direct result of a rapidly escalating undeclared war between Iran and a U.S.-Israeli coalition. A conflict that's been simmering for years has suddenly boiled over into open, direct military strikes.
Okay, let's just look at how fast this all went down. It started when U.S. and Israeli forces launched a campaign of strikes against Iranian military sites. You know, weapons depots, command centers. Iran, well, they didn't wait around. They retaliated, launching their own missiles at these really crucial, high-value U.S. early warning radar systems across the region. And this tit-for-tat escalation, it all culminated in a targeted attack that killed Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei himself, triggering the immediate power shift we're seeing right now.
And that brings us right back to the new man in charge, Mojtaba Khamenei. For decades, this guy has been a man in the shadows, a really mysterious figure who's had immense influence, but always from behind the scenes. And now, bam, he's been shoved into the international spotlight.
So who is he, really? Well, he's 56, and he has masterfully kept a low profile, almost never appearing in public. His real power, his base, comes from his deep, long-standing connections to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. That's the true hardline power center in Iran. But his appointment is dripping with controversy. First off, he just doesn't have the high-level religious credentials you're supposed to have to be supreme leader. And second, like we said, it looks a whole lot like a hereditary succession, which completely goes against the revolutionary principles that founded the republic in the first place.
To really get his position, you have to understand the culture here. In the Shia political world, the idea of martyrdom is incredibly powerful. And by surviving a recent Israeli assassination attempt, Mojtaba has gained this powerful aura of a living martyr. In a time of war, that kind of mystique gives him a huge boost in legitimacy, both with the public and, more importantly, with the military.
Now, this makes things really tricky for Iran's enemies. The Revolutionary Guard, Mojtaba's power base, they operate on a doctrine called mosaic defense. So instead of one central command, they have lots of independent ones. Think of it like a hydra with multiple heads. You can't just cut off one head and win. And Mojtaba's deep connection to the Guard means he gets this strategy inside and out, which makes Iran a much more resilient and unpredictable opponent.
And make no mistake, this conflict is no longer staying inside Iran's borders. The whole crisis is spilling over, igniting flashpoints across the entire region and dragging new players into the mix.
I mean, a perfect example. An Iranian-made drone was launched and it struck the British military base of Akrotiri in Cyprus. British intelligence is pretty sure a pro-Iranian militia, probably Hezbollah, was behind it, launching from Lebanon. This shows you just how wide the geographic scope of this fight is getting. It's literally reaching the shores of Europe.
Which raises a really important question. Why Cyprus? Well, just look at its unique position. It's a member of the European Union, sure, but, and this is the critical part, it is not a member of NATO. That means it doesn't have that collective defense shield of NATO's Article 5. With its own military being pretty limited, Cyprus has become a vulnerable strategic weak point, a really tempting target for proxies who want to hit Western interests without triggering a full-blown NATO war.
And at the same time, the northern border of Israel is just on fire. An Israeli operation in Lebanon, supposedly to recover the remains of a pilot missing since 1986, it turned into a bloody firefight. 41 people were killed. That is the deadliest single event since this whole escalation between Israel and Hezbollah kicked off. The old fronts are reopening with a new, terrifying intensity.
So this all leads to the one big question. What happens next? Because this isn't just a regional crisis anymore. The instability is having immediate, real-world consequences for the entire global economy and for international security.
The first thing everybody feels is economic. The financial markets are shaking. The price of oil has already shot past $114 a barrel. Any kind of disruption to the flow of oil through the Strait of Hormuz, and we're talking about a global energy shock. That means more inflation and stalled economies all over the world.
And this economic pressure, it's a key part of the strategy.
The official goal from Washington and its allies is to gradually degrade Iran's military capabilities through these targeted strikes. It's basically a war of attrition, fought with drones, missiles, and economic sanctions, all aimed at weakening the new hardline leadership in Tehran from every possible angle.
So here's the unsettling reality we're left with. A new, more hardline leader in Iran, a conflict that's spreading like wildfire across borders, and a global economy teetering on the edge. The events of just the past few weeks have set the stage for a new, really dangerous and unpredictable era. So the question we all have to ask ourselves now is this: is this the future of the Middle East?